Hello, welcome to This Is My Architecture. Today I'm joined by James from Ajilon. Welcome, James.
Simon, lovely to see you again.
Good to see you. What does Ajilon do?
Ajilon is a service and solution provider to the oil and gas, mining and public sector industries pretty much.
Fantastic. Now you're doing a lot of work with these well-established organisations to transform them and let them deliver differently. We've got a whole lot of boxes here. CI/CD, tell us about it.
Well, I think CI/CD is probably one of the biggest transformation things for deployment of enterprise services inside those organisations. And trying to automate that stuff really is giving massive benefits to those organisations at the velocity at which they can run.
So it's about doing things predictably, repeatably and quickly.
Absolutely.
There's a magic box that starts this process. Walk us through it.
Well, so CI/CD for us is quite often just taking what would have been manual steps previously and putting them inside something like a Atlassian Bamboo or a Jenkins or a TeamCity or something like that to produce the same effect over and over again. And for us, one of the key things that we want to do is programmatically generate our CloudFormation templates. We'll generate many CloudFormation templates as part of our deployments that we do. And classically, that's going to look a little bit like an enterprise stack. But in some of our environments, we're using microservices as an enterprise stack. So we'll bash out lots and lots of templates, each one of which would probably contain maybe an autoscale group, which would then generate a set of instances, a load balancer with ELB, and hookups, potentially Route 53 DNS entries for service discovery.
So all this is automatically wired up by the actual
the whole
CloudFormation template talking to itself. Now the instances in the ASG, are they pre-baked? What are you doing with those?
So yeah, we do a partial bake. So we would take, effectively, we have a pipeline that generates our AMIs and we'll re-baseline those AMIs based on whatever conditions happen. So for example, updates to libraries that we feel are critical, new kernels, etc. Re-baseline those and let them come through the CloudFormation automation to rolling update and deploy them into those ASGs.
Now the rolling update's interesting because that means you can do patching, which is a classic enterprise thing to have to do, but you're not experiencing downtime because there's always at least one running instance.
Absolutely, and obviously patching has been really important in the media over the last couple of weeks. We've seen and continue to see that being a requirement. So not only do we actually patch on instances, we re-baseline, re-pump the whole thing through.
Now we've got not just one, but a couple of these as an example.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Well, classically, you'd find that this is actually going to be a continuation all the way down. Each one of these microservices, they're pretty small as far as instance sizes go. They'll independently scale, which is beautiful because you can actually bring the power of the compute that you need to just the code base that needs it at that point in time. And they'll do service discovery either synchronously through Route 53 to an ELB, so this guy might speak to him, or asynchronously, so these guys might talk to the message queues that are responsible to that service. And so we get to choose whether we're going to do synchronous or asynchronous communication between the services.
So you've got as much coupling as you need and no more.
Indeed.
And how quickly can you deploy all this?
Well, typically we're running an agile sprint, so we'll generally at a leisurely pace do it every 1 to 2 weeks. But we have been known that if we needed to make a production change, we'll get that through our CI/CD systems, including quality checks and maybe potentially run it through SonarQube and a whole bunch of rule sets to do some quality checks. Then automated testing, maybe an hour to get up to production.
So you've moved from a sort of really slow big bang, maybe once every 6 months approach
to...
Oh,
big bang. That's the word that makes every IT person shudder when you're looking at a deployment like this. Absolutely. I mean, I'd much rather prefer a small whimper than a big bang because the risk is so much less.
So you can deploy as often as you want, whenever you need to.
Whenever we need to.
Fantastic. James, thanks so much for joining us today.
Lovely to see you, Simon.
Good to see you.
Take care.
And thank you for watching This Is My Architecture.